Welcome to the Boise State Esports Arena. Tonight, you join us for Overwatch. We got a doubleheader for you, starting out with a PEC match against USC, and then we will head on over to the Mountain West to compete against Hawaii. Boise State is already up on stage, raring to go, and we are as well. We being me, your host Jacob Palmer, and my co-host Bryce Jensen, here to call all of the action for you. Now, Bryce, one of the things that we have noticed about Boise State's performance and how they like to play Overwatch has been just the incredible amount of times that they've brought out the Wrecking Ball, even if it hasn't at times been the most meta pick. So much so that I understand that other teams are following in Boise State's footsteps.
Yeah, we've seen in the recent months and with patch notes that dive has really become a very popular strategy, and with no visible changes in the meta outside of the perks that we're not going to see tonight, but we'll see in weeks moving forward, dive is going to continue to be a really popular meta. Boise State has proven that it can work even into meta compositions that you wouldn't really expect the Wrecking Ball to work into. The thing is, Wrecking Ball's kit involves a lot of what I would call the best survival abilities in this game. You have an adaptive shield that can give you almost 1,000 extra over health. You have a grappling hook that can get you out of situations really, really fast. And he's honestly one of the better dive tanks in my personal opinion. So to see him not only being played by other players, but also being brought out even more often by the Broncos makes an incredible amount of sense. However, I do think Boise State's going to have quite the advantage. Strider has said on several different occasions how much he has played the character. He's been playing him for upwards of 5 years now, and I don't think picking up Wrecking Ball for a month could get you even close to that skill level.
That is a really good point to keep in mind. Other things the Broncos should keep in mind, of course, are Doc's keys to the game in Overwatch, and Doc's keys to the game are always guided by one central principle, and that's never to take a fair fight. That means to take fights in unexpected places when your opponents are unprepared, and of course try to leverage as much tempo as you can get. Brought to you by Blue Ribbon Painting. And esports fans, while you're here cheering for the best in gaming, we want to introduce you to the MVPs of painting, Blue Ribbon Painting. With over 90 years of combined experience, they're proud to be Boise's go-to team of local multi-generational painters who know exactly how to level up your home. If you're ready to transform your space, you can visit blueribbonpainting.net to schedule a free estimate. Now, I understand you have the opening lineup for us, Bryce.
Yeah, so tonight, the Boise State are going to be, their opening lineup is going to be Hex, Lyric, Clear, Diamond Dog, and Strider. And I'm fairly certain that we are going to be seeing the rest of these players appear at some point in the night as well.
Yeah, Boise State has a really deep roster for Overwatch. Could bring out subs if need be. But right now, I feel pretty darn confident in this opening lineup to go to work. Now, what we do need to think of is this is PEC, so while we aren't considering the perks quite yet, we do have to consider the hero bands that will come through for each individual stage. Control being the first of this best of 5.
Yeah, we've seen in we saw last week specifically how you can really ban just about anybody on the Boise State side. However, they play enough niche characters to where you can either ban the Wrecking Ball, for instance, because you're not going to use a Wrecking Ball, but at the same time they can flex to someone like Hazard or Winston, who have kind of been dominating the meta in the professional sense. But it looks like for the first map, we are going to be going to Oasis, and I'm kind of excited to see who ends up getting banned on both sides. We saw a lot of Sojourns banned last week. We saw Wrecking Ball banned a few times, and I think we also saw Lifeweaver banned, which I'm not quite sure what that was about.
Yeah, that was a little odd. I mean, the one rule you have to keep in mind is that if a team bans someone, then the other team cannot ban a hero from that same role. So it has to be 2 different roles between tank, DPS, and support. But we have seen a lot of Sojourn. On the same token, Ashe, especially if a particular stage has a lot of high ground, then Ashe can deal damage down from above, then that has been a popular pick. It always seems like for each stage there's just one consistent damage dealer that's eliminated.
Yeah, that is 100% true. If the area is more flat, we tend to see a lot more Sojourn bans. We see a lot of Ashe bans, like you were saying, on maps with a lot of high ground. But on those high ground maps, we also see a lot of dive tanks banned as well. I think we saw Hazard once and Wrecking Ball once last week. 2 characters banned. And it looks like Cassidy is going to be the first ban for Oasis.
Makes me wonder if someone might want to bring out Afara for this too, since Cassidy is one of the key choices for countering Afara with his hit scan. But Maybe that might give away the other team's strategy. We just don't quite know for sure. But that's it for the damage roll. So now a tank or support has to be banned.
That is true. I mean, I was talking with Hex last week, and he is the self-proclaimed best Lifeweaver in the world. So we were kind of trashing on the Lifeweaver ban just a little bit, but, you know, it might have been worth it. That one character, he can do a lot of healing. He can't really do much else, but he can do a lot of healing.
Do healing, not much else, but you can do a lot of healing. Well, the team just kind of taking their time as we wait for the last word from both these teams.
I mean, it's a heavy decision. You got 50-plus characters to ban. I mean, you took a huge chunk out of them by taking Cassidy off the board, but at the same time, there's 15 tanks, or that doesn't sound right. There's around that number of tanks and around the same number of support characters as well. I mean, if we're using my estimate, it's around 30 characters in total. And to pick just one that you'll think will disrupt the entire team, force them to play something a little bit more uncomfortable. On Oasis, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a dive pick banned, like maybe an Ana for some of those longer range engagements. Maybe a Mauga. University, the sub-map on Oasis is a really good Mauga map, and we've seen games be made or broken by that one sub-map in particular. So there's definitely a lot of ways you could go with this, but I feel like we're going to see something a little bit more hindering to the dives. But it is going to be a tank ban, but not the one I was thinking. It's going to be Junker Queen instead.
Quite an interesting pick to bring that out. It's not necessarily the most divey hero out there, but does bring a lot of sustain to the table, which now won't be available for our teams. Looks like all the players are more than confident and ready to start going.
Yeah, Queen is one of those characters that you really can't underestimate, especially with the commanding shout giving over 100 overhealth to everybody around her. Plus, I mean, she's the queen for a reason. She is the queen of sustain in this game. I guess Mauga, that would make Mauga the king of sustain, but we don't talk about Mauga. But with Queen banned, it's gonna be kind of interesting to see. I guarantee you we're gonna see Wrecking Ball at some point, though. That is one thing you can bet good money on.
Well, off we go into the first round of Overwatch for tonight. Starting off the PEC match, Broncos versus the Trojans, Boise State versus USC. Heading on down to Oasis, we've got 3 possible choices to go to. A lot of them, almost all of them, Dubs has some high ground looking on over the point.
Yeah, the only real exception to that rule is University, but even then you have that right side loft deal. I wouldn't call it's not like super hard high ground, unlike some of the other maps, though, where you can quite literally shoot all the way down. You have to flick your mouse all the way down. I would say that University is the less high ground heavy of the 3 sub maps, and it's where more brawly compositions kind of come out to play. We've seen Reinhardt, we've seen Junker Queen. Of course, Junker Queen's banned, so we're not going to see her tonight. We saw a lot of Mauga, especially in more competitive formats as well. Mauga was super popular, but it looks like we are not going to be on the more brawly maps. It's going to look like Dive is going to control the day.
Yep, with that old Wrecking Ball that we were teasing at the very beginning.
Yeah, but with no support bans, it's going to be fairly easy for Boise State's backline to sort of keep him up as well. But is that a Hanzo pick out of the Broncos?
Yeah.
Oh, clear on the Hanzo. That's something we haven't seen before, but it looks like USC is going to be going with a more dive-based diva composition. Karma taking the early high ground. Hex taking a lot of damage. Means manages to go down. Love manages to find the kill. Clear very quick to return. But that's your main source of healing, all for a Tracer. Can they manage to find a pick that'll even this one out just a little bit?
Right now, Karma is just trying to get in on Boise State's backline, take out some sort of low-health hero, but they're finding themselves surrounded and taken out of the mech as well, as Lyce is also eliminated. Karma short for this world as well, eliminated by Clear. Strider picks up Love, and that'll be a clean fight win for the Broncos, and the point's now in their favor.
Doesn't look like the fight's quite over yet. Ace is just struggling to get away, but he manages to get out of there. Clear on the Hanzo has done a lot more than I would have expected. He managed to take out the Tracer, but Strider is going to find an early pick on Ace. That loss of a Lucio, that's a lot of speed gone for USC, and now they're going to have to back out and hopefully take this next fight without losing one of their supports in the process.
A lot of long-range damage that Boise State is pushing out with the Sojourn and the Hanzo. Strider also, he lands one, lands a hook against Lice, takes them out, and now Karma, a very precarious situation, trying to clear some sort of space out for their teammates, but Boise State knows their location and is just waiting, and in fact prodding them a bit to just daring them to jump in.
Oh, but you jump in right into the minefield. Looks like they're all cornered in one area, and they have no way to escape. Strider trying to go and find a pick, but nothing quite comes out of it. Point is not being captured, but Diamond Dog goes down to Karma, even through the rally. Clear is second to go down. That's both DPS gone. Karma contesting the point fairly easy right now. Lice taking out people in the back line, but Strider and Lyric trying to take everybody else out. They're going to find Lice, but the point does ultimately go to the Trojans.
Even so, Strider was trying to make a fight out of it, watch the traffic, manages to pick up Love. Yeah, was made me a bit nervous there.
Hey, I mean, that's all you gotta do. You just gotta find your one. And
you look both ways. There you go.
Get the hell back. Oh,
the other way.
Dragon Strike does come out of Clear, doesn't find anybody, but it does disrupt the push forward. Kitsune Rush comes out of Red Bunny, and nobody really has ults to contest it. Oh, I say that, and everybody gets their ults immediately. Orbital Ray comes out of X, and so does the Magma Core from Lice. Clear manages to take out the turret, but nobody's been able to get onto point from the side of USC. Diamond Dog being pressured out from the back by Love, and it looks like Karma's just trying to hang on to this point from the top.
Okay, the question for Diamond Dog is, what can she do on this overclock? Strider already takes out Red Bunny, and we're going to see the minefield as well. We see the Primal Rage, but he's already way off to the side. Diamond Dog lands her shot against Ace, and now Boise State just trying to take down this tank. He bought some time for himself on the Primal Rage, but it is not enough time for USC to mount a comeback. Boise State winning first on Oasis.
He didn't have enough in-store credit to buy the time he needed, and that just kind of came back to bite him. There was a lot of really good ults on the field of USC. I just feel like if they used them a little bit sooner, we might have seen it shake out just a bit differently there. I'm honestly surprised they ended up swapping off the D.Va from Karma. D.Va's pretty good, and Winston is honestly pretty meta right now, but at the same time going up against something that is so damage heavy like a Sojourn, you almost need that defense matrix that'll basically protect your entire team for 3 seconds for completely free. But I mean, if you can make the Winston work, it works really well.
Doors drop, and off we go to the second in this control stage. Early, a little bit of a sim teleport, and then a swap back over.
Looks like we're going to be playing Mei for this sub-map instead of the Hanzo. Tracer forced to recall really early.
Already, yeah, was getting in a fight there off to the side.
Yeah, Mei going on a rampage against the backline of USC. Nobody's really turned around to contest her.
And with if those right clicks land, it can certainly be a deadly hero. And Boise State already clearly winning the first team fight, getting the point for themselves in a team kill.
Yeah, I believe that Clear managed to find 2 on the back line there, and USC just couldn't sustain it for long enough. I believe Love ended up going down. I heard the very noticeable Tracer death scream. If it's one thing, it's unique, that's for sure. Looks like Strider trying to find a little bit of damage, doesn't quite find anything, but what is going on with Karma there? He is trying to find a way onto the backline, manages to get the jump on Clear, and so does it, and so does Tracer. Love manages to go in, but Clear with the headshot on Lice. Nothing's coming out of that. Red Bunny falls for the mistake too, and Strider still manages to keep the point. How did Lyric come out of that alive? He had Love to the left of him, Karma to the right, and there he was, stuck in the middle, and he managed to get out, so.
Oh, he's already using that minefield just to preemptively block that route through Hookah. Clear is also going to be able to take out Love. Well, I mean, not completely, just that one corner.
Yeah, just the one corner. Hey, maybe the one corner is all they need. That's actually a very popular rotation point. It looks like we're going to see Clear trying to duel the Tracer once again. Out goes the Blizzard. Rally also gets popped from Hex. trying to chase down Lice with Strider. Lice finds the pack. Love actually finds Diamond Dog. Strider's going to find Lice, though. Both Sojourns traded out, and the point gets flipped while Strider's away. Lyric trying to find a little bit of healing in the back line. Love actually falls off the map. Ace falls to a combined clear Strider assault, and Red Bunny is soon to follow. Karma left alone on the point, has to Primal Rampage to keep this point alive, but at this point, this is not a great spot for you to be if you are the Trojans, especially if you're Lice locked in a room with the Wrecking Ball.
And now that Primal Rage goes down the drain. Speaking of down the drain, look at the sound barrier. They're trying to take it back, but they only have 3 people. And that sound barrier can go on to. And the fight still doesn't go over to Boise State.
They missed Karma with the sound barrier. That was unfortunate. The main person you wanted that sound barrier to hit, and it doesn't find. Love goes down to Strider and Ace. It's up to him to touch the point. He manages to get there, but Hex and Strider just on him the entire way there. Kitsune Rush goes out, trying to hold this point here, but it just looks like Clear is going to hold him to it. The wall goes out. Out comes Karma, trying to find a little bit of space on this point, and he goes down. Same with Red Bunny and Lice. And Strider, once again, bullying the Tracer in the back line for a Bronco 2-0 win.
Panic really starting to set in toward the latter half of that fight as USC was just trying to throw any ultimate they had online at Boise State, even if they weren't fighting as a full team. And Strider more than happy to pick off those individual targets as he gets the nod for the first play of the game.
Yeah, I will say, even though it didn't look super close a lot of the time there, they were able to cap that point a few times just by sneaking it away from the back line of Boise State. They'd overextend a little bit too much. They take a little bit of percent. And, you know, that might be something you can capitalize on. If you can get behind your enemy and then get a few really good picks on them, it'll make it really easy for you to get some stuff done. We didn't quite see it out of USC. There were a few ultimates that were misplaced, like, unfortunately, the beat drop not hitting the tank on 200 HP. That's very unfortunate.
And that lack of coordination is extra punishing if both these teams are going to go for the dive composition. Your team has to be completely working in tandem with each other to get in, get their target, and get out before they're mowed down themselves.
Yeah, we saw it a few times with Lyric. Both Winston and Tracer would dive Lyric, but they wouldn't finish the kill. They'd get Lyric down really low, but then they'd allow someone like Hex to come in with the Brig and save him every time, and a lot of the time they'd suffer casualties from it, which is not what you want to see when you are playing that dive composition, and especially when you're in a mirrored dive composition and your Tracer is getting hunted down by a Wrecking Ball.
Seems like there was a bit of excitement on stage, maybe some sort of spicy pick or ban.
They're cooking. They're cooking up this new team comp.
Well, we'll just have to see what got that team so riled up.
No!
Oh, my goodness!
The Kryptonite comes out, and the Wrecking Ball is banned.
Well, I mean, but that's the catch-22. Even if the Wrecking Ball is banned, Boise State can pull from a variety of other heroes to go. But, I mean, USC picking the Blizzard World, bravo. My hat's out to you.
Yeah, definitely a niche pick, but a good pick to see. I love me some Blizzard World. Honestly, it's overlooked. It's one of it's one of the best hybrid maps in the game. In my opinion. I know a lot of people on stage do not share that opinion with me at all, but at the same time, it is the most visually appealing, is what I should say.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff
let
to
them
look
go
at.
and play on Kings Row. Let's just don't mind them. They can go into the London rain. Let's enjoy the theme park.
Yeah, I want to go to the theme park, but it looks like we're going to see a Sombra ban out of Boise State. So Hamster and Sombra. Very, very interesting two picks out of both teams. Neither character is typically meta, but at the same time, we might see a little bit more meta picks coming out here. We've seen Strider flex onto the Hazard, and it's gone very well for him in the past, so we're just going to have to see how this shakes out in Game 2. Escort on Blizzard World.
Off we go. Boise State, the Broncos going up against USC, the Trojans. Should the Broncos win round 2, they will move on to match point as we get a delightful overview of all of the great attractions you can visit in Blizzard World. Of course, there is the Hellscream roller coaster. I'm more partial to taking a visit to Murloc Island just to chill out. What are you hitting up?
Honestly, the Pylon Terrace, very cool. I think it serves really good drinks at the bar there. Of course, I'm not old enough to have some of their beverages, but I do say they make a pretty mean club soda.
Well, speaking of bars, that is where we will be starting out for the attacking team, the Hearthstone Tavern, starting things off in Blizzard World. By the way, did you know Hearthstone and StarCraft are having a crossover event right now?
I didn't know. Are they adding like StarCraft cards to Hearthstone,
yep,
or is
StarCraft
it
cards to Hearthstone, and all the
cool.
classes are divided between Protoss, Zerg, and Terran.
Now they should add a emote for each of the species in StarCraft, or like an idle animation where they're just playing Hearthstone.
Well,
that would be kind of fun, especially for me, because I forget about my builders in StarCraft way too often.
Snacks Ramus, that's so brilliant. All right, here we go. Boise State going up against USC. USC attacking first. Out they go out of the tavern to the first major choke point, bringing out a Ramattra for their tank pick.
Not a bad pick for this map. It allows you to get onto that high ground, which is really hard to take control away from, but Love manages to find Diamond Dog. Clear does end up trading the Sojourns, but looks like Love is going to escape almost unscathed. Nope, I take that back. A Brig D.Va dive takes out Love. Both teams are down a player, and USC is going to have to be forced back, especially with the Strider getting... Wait! Strider's on Soldier. I don't know why it took me so long for my brain to process that.
Well, I mean, Clear in his pro career has been a tank pick consistently as well, so he has a lot of experience there as well. So just not surprised if he can't play the Wrecking Ball, and if he can make it on the Soldier, then go right ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Soldier is one of those characters where as long as you have the aiming skills, you can do a ton with him, even if he isn't quite meta. I don't think he's really ever been hard meta in this game, but he is still a very great pick. Anti does come out onto Karma. Hex almost falls for his hubris, though. Actually does go down. Karma, with a little bit of help from the Lucio, and Lice is going to find his as well. Nanoboost comes out of Lyric on to Clear, but with all of his team dead, he's going to have to make up a lot of ground. Clear does find Lice and Ace, but Karma still contesting the point with another member. Looks like Love is going to go down to Clear.
He's taking out all the squishies, and there might actually be enough time for Boise State to get back on the point and recontest it as a team. And here we go. Huge team fight, an opportunity for Boise State to keep the payload away from USC. Disruption shot going to get a bit of ground for Boise State to work with, forcing the Trojans off the point.
It does look like we're going to see a swap from Lyric off the Ana to the Juno, something that we've seen a lot more of in these past few games. Out comes the tactical visor into the Kitsune Rush, finds Lice. That's huge. Strider does end up going down to Karma, but that's one ult traded. The Ravenous Vortex does come out, though, and with a little help from Love, there goes the backline, and Clear once again, the only one left on the point. Self-destruct comes out. Can he survive? No, he can't, and he doesn't find anyone to go with him. Karma is proving to be quite the problem on Ramattra.
But that stall that Clear brought out took over a minute away from USC's time bank, so they'll have 4 minutes to push to the checkpoint, but not quite as much time as they were hoping for. USC still sitting on 2 ultimates, the third coming online. We got Overclock, Dragon Blade, and Sound Barrier. Boise State only having a rally to show for.
Yeah, but with Love going down, Strider making full use of the fact Cassidy wasn't banned this round. Same with Clear. They're bringing out both the characters that were banned last round. And lots of ults on the table, though. Hex and Diamond Dog closest to the ultimates on the side of Boise State, but there's a Dragon Blade, Overclock, and a Sound Barrier on the side of USC. And Lice is going to find it on Diamond Dog to start the match at an early disadvantage for Boise State. Looks like Karma is going to force Clear into a spot he's not very comfortable, and out comes the Overclock from Lice. Is he going to find anything out of it, or is Love going to steal the show? He's going to find Clear. He's going to find Lyric, and it looks like Clear is not in a great position either. And he's going to go down to Karma as well. And no Overclock to reciprocate from Diamond Dog. Was able to burn it from Lice, though. But with the cart over halfway to second point, Boise State's only got about one more team fight before USC manages to capture second point.
So we pour one out for the Heroes Arcade that we pass in memoriam, but we will continue pressing onward.
Oh, early Soundwave trying to put a little bit of pressure on. Out comes the overclock as well, waiting for that beat drop to go down. And out comes the Dragon Blade 2 with a little bit of help from Red Bunny with the Kitsune Rush. It manages to find Clear. Lyric also going down. Strider finds it on Lice to no avail. Diamond Dog gets taken down as well, and Red Bunny to finish it out takes out Strider. 3:30 on the time bank for USC to capture the final point, which is the hardest out of all the ones in this map.
We'll see how they do as Boise State charges up their second ultimate. They have the Orbital Ray and a Deadeye. USC is going to have this Annihilation coming online just as the fight starts.
Clear also almost has his ult. Correction, he does have that ult. And out comes the Orbital Ray as well. Karma getting pulled right back towards it. Block goes out, but it's not enough. Karma is taken down, I believe, for the first time this match. And that's going to force USC and the Trojans to back out.
Good win for Boise State that they didn't even have to spend any ultimates for. Still finding themselves with a good ult advantage. Excuse me, they did spend the Orbital Ray, excuse me, but they're still in the one.
And out goes the Deadeye, manages to find Lice. Hex does go down to the Ravenous Vortex, but Karma all by himself cannot stand up to it. Ace manages to find one on Strider, but it's not enough. Looks like Love is still in the back line, lurking around to try and do something, but now he's being hunted down by the Boise State core. He's cornered, and that is a night-night for Love. Clear with the knife to the face.
Brick wall having been hit here. Oh, look at this. Karma's going to try to contest the point, but his full team is not behind him. He is going to try to go into Nemesis form and tank this out, but Boise State is going to call the play.
They cleansed everyone but Karma. Oh, they cleansed. They got 3 people in that cleanse, except for Karma, the guy on the lowest health.
He's got a habit of being outside the crucial support.
Tank players around the world felt that in their heart. We've all been there. Just a little bit too overextended. He's going to push in once again. He's got Clear cornered. Kitsune Rush does come out, but Boise State drops the beat. The overclock comes out of Lice. Ace is found by Clear. What is going on here? Lots of damage being exchanged. No one's really been able to do anything, but Ace being taken out before he could drop the sound barrier is going to force the Trojans to back off. And not a moment too soon, Clear was looking at a very scary health pool just there.
Fight still continuing on. Love gets the pick onto Hex. Boise State with 3 ultimates. They'll use 2 of them. Orbital Ray and Deadeye. They'll use Deadeye to take out Flight. Sound Barrier comes out already after USC has lost 2, and Lucio goes down shortly after using it. Dragon Blade to try to bring it back from Love. Picks off 1 Bronco. Trying to buy some time. Might still be a chance USC could win this fight.
They still do have quite the advantage here. Karma does have Ravenous Vortex that he could use. Clear getting down real low, and they actually do manage to get him. Karma pressing the advantage, pushing forward, and I think Clear, he died in his ultimate. That is huge for the Trojans. Not having a Ravenous Rampage on the board is going to severely limit Boise State's options, and it looks like the Malga is going to be coming out for a little bit more damage on the side of Boise State. Manages to get into the Kitsune Rush. Cleanse comes out. Red Bunny does go down, and with a little bit of help from the Kitsune Rush, Karma finds 2 with some help from Lice. Out comes the Ravenous Vortex, and that's enough to take down the Strider, Diamond Dog, and with a little bit of help from Love, Lyric and Hex go down. But USC manages to clear the final objective. With only 5 seconds on the board, though, Boise State was able to burn 1.5 minutes.
Who's ringing that cowbell? That wasn't Boise State that just won.
We might have a traitor in our midst.
We just might here. Brought in a big Trojan horse and then...
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Well, Boise State, they did have a fairly good defense. I mean, I'm still blown away with how well Clear was able to just completely stall out that point, taking a good minute or two off of it, even though it seemed like the fight was lost.
Yeah, on that first point in particular. Blizzard World, while it is a great map, it is full of a ton of bottlenecks. And that first little bit before you get to the capture point, that's what a lot of teams experience before being knocked out and losing the round. Just because you can't quite break through that high ground. It's such a hard thing to capture. But once a team manages to force the other team off the high ground, it gets significantly harder to defend. And the fact that Clear was able to hold on for as long as he did is really impressive. Even with Karma overextending a lot of the time.
Well, off we go to Boise State's attack. Still plenty of room for them to work with.
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
a pretty low bar to hop. They got to get 3 points true, but they can, you know, as long as they're above 5 seconds, they're pretty good.
Yeah, 5 seconds. It's over overtime. It's not the worst place you could be, but it looks like Clear is going to be mirroring the Ramatra pick. He's going to say, Karma, I'm going to prove that I am the better pick, but it does look like Lyric's going to be on the Baptiste instead of the Juno for this round, changing it up a little bit, moving for a little bit more speed. Symmetra teleports up to the top, forces them off, and kills Rice in the process. Forces them into an uncomfortable position. Hex goes down, but trades Ace. Strider finding 2 on the Symmetra. Love was able to find 1, but what a quick
oh my goodness, the TP!
The TP! Oh, but he's able to get away. Red Bunny. Gonna have some horror stories with that one.
Still, that's about a good at Ravenous Vortex. You could get it completely split off USC, and then each one of them was just picked off individually.
Yeah, not to mention the teleport out of Strider onto the high ground, completely denying any chance of utilizing that. Symmetra teleport is one of the best abilities for movement in this game, and you can't tell me otherwise. USC trying to hold this high ground, definitely one of the better spots to be, but with Ravenous Vortex on the table, it makes it really easy for Ramatra to not only farm ult charge, but to farm a ton of damage on your team. Looks like the turret's going to go down. Love is going to be the one to take it out, but the card is being put for free. Out goes the window from Baptiste, and Karma's getting chased down by Clear. But with supports on the side of Karma, he is going to go down. A little bit too much damage out of Strider, who's going to fall to Love in the end. It looks like Clear is also in a pretty precarious spot, and Lyric's going to go down as well. And now with no support to back him up, Clear, it has to fall back to the point.
But with all that fighting taking place on the upper decks, it means the payload has just been very stealthily being pushed down on ground level. USC finally gets a stop to it, but Boise State is way more than 50% of the way there.
Yeah, I don't think I can excuse what I just saw Diamond Dog attempt. The old beat him with a hammer strategy. Almost. The weird thing is that she almost got it too. If she was just a little bit quicker with the swap, she would have gotten the hammer time kill. Teleport does come out from Strider, putting Boise State all the way to that other side, completing an easy rotation. And Karma has to drop down in order to contest the point. Dragon Blade is almost out from Love, and Karma almost has his ult as well. It is going to be a massive ult dump, especially with USC having so many ults on the board. Overclock and Kitsune Rush come out, matched by Rapid Vortex. Simwall comes out as well. All the breakables are being broken. Ace and Love both using their ults at the same time. Strider goes down to Love, Clear finding 1 with his own Ravenous Vortex. Ravenous Vortex also killing Ace as well. Both Lucios go down. But, wow, the point's being pushed too. Karma forced to get back to the point. Sojourn on the top trying to find something. Manages to get Lyric. Doesn't quite find any other kills. Diamond Dog goes down to Love. And USC manages to hold this point. But with no ultimates left. 5 ultimates back to back to back. They really wanted to keep that point there.
And now with all those ultimates spent, a few swaps are going to come out. Boise State Strider now moving on to the Cassidy.
Now Cassidy trying to deal with the Genji. That's kind of been a pain for this Boise State core, but Cassidy is kind of the notorious anti-dive. Looks like Hex is going to find the first pick of the team fight onto Lice. Looks like Karma is going to be put in a very bad situation, especially with the application matrix from Lyric just boosting everything going through, and it looks like Boise State is going to be able to take it after that one. After a pretty chaotic team fight, Boise State is now moving into point 3 with quite a bit of time left, with just a bit more time left on the clock than USC did.
They're making a lot of room for themselves already throughout the first 2 corners, guaranteeing a good payload push. This is where USC got stopped when they were pushing forward, so Boise State already trying to avoid the same situation.
Karma gonna find the turret pick. It's not a bad thing to take out of play because it does have the best aim in the game. It is incredibly accurate. I don't think it's ever missed. Karma trying to take a duel with Clear, doesn't quite want to use his form, but there it goes. Bastion does come out from Love, and with some help from the Kitsune Rush is able to chase people down, but Diamond Dog is going to find a pick, and USC is not going to be able to reciprocate. Clear taking the initiative, pushing forward once again, knowing Love doesn't have anything to counteract. Deadeye comes out of the Strider. Is he gonna find anything? He finds Karma! What a pick! Love is burned out of his form, and out comes Ravenous Vortex. Boise State gonna roll through third point with almost 3 minutes left on the clock. Artillery configuration comes out of Love, but I fear it's too little too late. Beat goes out, and that's going to be Boise State bringing it to overtime with a 2.5 minute difference in time bank.
And 1 minute will go to each team. And man, I mean, talk about getting the biggest prize you could possibly get off of that Deadeye. And especially here because Karma isn't really low on health. I mean, he's taken some damage here and there, but taking out an almost full health tank with the Deadeye is nothing to complain about.
Yeah, and I'm honestly surprised Clear didn't go down to the Bastion in turret form either. Being face first, even with your block, you just get shredded through that. But I believe Boise State will be back on the defense, and they're going to have to play it a little bit better than they did the last time if they want to hold it at that point. But considering how fast some of these fights have been without ultimates, I think that Boise State's got a good shot to keep this one there.
I'm just glad we're spending more time in Blizzard World. As I look back at that Ferris wheel, that's another great pun that they have there, because that logo in the center is of the Dark Moon Fair from WoW. That's a location in WoW. Also had an expansion in Hearthstone. So you've got the Dark Moon Ferris wheel.
That's a knee slapper right there. I actually haven't gotten all the way through World of Warcraft yet. I probably should do that, but why would I do that when I can play
Slaughtered
Overwatch?
Calf Inn. I'm just noticing that. Yeah, let's go to the Slaughtered Calf Inn. That sounds nice and cozy.
Yeah, looks like USC has not wanted to change their composition, but Boise State is going to be sticking with Strider on the Cassidy going forward. Diamond Dog still with the Torbjorn. Doesn't quite find anything, but Mice finds it on Strider really early with the Sojourn over. Not the over to the Railgun. Clear put in a really precarious situation with his back against the wall, but luckily Immortality Field comes to the rescue. Diamond Dog's turret, while it serves a good distraction, doesn't do much else. Strider is actually going to be put on Tracer going forward, just trying to keep this point. Looks like Karma being taken down really low. Turret comes back out. Lice does find Baptiste, though. 11 seconds left on the clock to capture this point. All Boise has to do is keep it there, but with Clear on such low health, Lice trying to get the Strider in the back line, and he does find it with the Railgun. Clear, though, passively regaining his health back. Love is in the back line, though, and he is not showing any mercy.
Still in overtime, USC using the sound barrier. Boise State trying to just survive through that, because if USC fails to keep on this point, the round will end immediately. And huge railgun shot from onto Clear and Diamond Dog. Looked like it picked up collateral, to be honest.
Yeah, in one, out the other, in one character's hitbox, out the other. But looking at the ults, Boise State closing in on 4, USC also closing in on 3. We've seen how badly that Love Dragon Blade can be, especially, but Hex does have his sound barrier, almost have a sound barrier to match it. Looks like Clear going to be taking a slight off angle, is able to find a little bit on Karma, but Ace is going to go down. Ace is going to get Strider. Lyric, though, finding Karma with the amplification matrix and with a bit of help from Diamond Dog and a Ravenous Vortex. Boise State going to hold it just outside the first point.
I mean, when you've got an ult like the Molten Core, it was kind of just a waiting game until we can basically force the enemy team off of the payload.
Yeah, it's like you either take a lot of tick damage or you just leave the point there. It's not worth going forward and taking all that damage. But yeah, the ability of Boise State to just stay on this point was kind of crazy. They burned so much time just being there on the point as an immovable object, but USC just had a few better ults to use in order to push them off. Kitsune Rush is nothing you want to fight into, that's for sure.
Now Boise State doesn't have to get too far. They have a lot of time to work with, over 3 minutes. Basically almost the default time that you get starting out. So things looking pretty good for the Broncos as far as a chance to go to match point is concerned.
But it does look like we're going to see the Pharah come out on the side of USC and a Torbjorn. Looks like they're taking a bit of Torbjorn wisdom from Boise State. And they saw how well it's been working for them.
Yeah, but Boise State, I mean, they've shown they're good enough on the Cassidy that, you know, with proper aim, that Pharah can very well be countered.
And I mean, even Torbjorn can take out Pharah with the turret as well. If Pharah can't do anything about that turret in time, it's claimed the lives of a lot of unsuspecting flyers in this game. But here we go. Overtime. Boise State trying to close this off for USC, bring them to match point. Looks like it's going to force them all off high ground. Ace getting taken down low. Karma as well, outside of his bulky form. That's going to be a little bit harder to do anything with. And there we go. Strider takes out Love, and it was because of the turret taking him down. Lice is able to find the kill onto Lyric, but it looks like the same thing that happened last round, but reverse is going on here. Boise State manages to get onto this point and is just going to hunker down and just slowly capture the point, but Karma is going to find it on Clear. Diamond Dog trying to find something else and is going to end up being taken out by Ace. Karma, though, going to find Strider. Boise State manages to get 2 ticks out of it.
Still having 2.5 minutes left. Boise State still a ways away from ultimates, the one lone exception being the sound barrier that will come online. USC a bit farther ahead in their ult charge. Karma, due to that huge swing at the end there, is almost up to his annihilation.
Yeah, forced off high ground once again, though. USC Clear trying to take out that turret from Lice. That's just free ult charge if you allow it to stay, and it can be pretty detrimental, as Lice found out fairly early with the Pharah. Out comes the Kitsune Rush, though. Clear is forced to kite it away, and the Immortality Field does come out, but no one is able to protect against the Ravenous Vortex. It finds 2. And no ults to reciprocate from Boise State, but they're coming up to theirs here pretty quick. Ace and Lice, the only 2 who are exceptionally close to ults on the side of the Trojans.
But it's fine for them to lose that round because it allowed them to charge up 3 out of their 5 ultimates. Clear and Diamond Dog are also not far behind, so they could just do a classic ult dump here to wipe out USC and get this final tick.
Yeah, especially with Deadeye on the side of Strider. He's going to use it, but it looks like Karma is wise to that trick. But he is able to be saved by Lyric in the Immortality Field. Out comes the beat from both Lucio's. Hex does go down to Lice's Molten Core, but Clear with his Ravenous Vortex might just take out Karma, and he does. Now he's just going to force everyone else back and off the point. Ace goes down, in with Red Bunny, and the point is capped for Boise. Now they just got to push it a little ways. Love being chased down by Clear, though. He's going to be taken far away from point. But that was almost all the ults on Boise's side. Diamond Dog still has hers, though. Very close. But Love is also getting really close to the Dragon Blade, which is a point wipe in and of itself. Karma trying to play this a little bit safer. Love looking for an opportunity to use this Dragon Blade. But is he going to get there in time? Out comes the molten core, and he doesn't get there. He misses it. He waits too long, and Boise State wins in overtime.
Well, as we saw, the molten core a little earlier, the molten core can very well be used to clear people off of the point, but it can also be used to keep them from touching the point in the first place.
I think that was a little bit too much hesitation from the Genji Blade. We are going to see a different player highlighted. It's going to be Karma this time around. But I'm surprised the Dragon Blade was held out for so long, especially with it being such a great ultimate to wipe out entire
But also, for USC's credit, look at how competitive that actually was. Going into overtime, both teams claiming 3. It's almost as if sometimes changing up your hybrid choice can lead to good things. I'm just saying.
Yeah, honestly, you throw a wild card in there that you don't know, there's a good chance that your opponents don't know him either. So maybe we'll see a little bit more Blizzard World in the future.
Well, we're going to have to go to the third and a final stage now, possibly final, if Boise State has a good chance of sweeping this 3-0. It's going to make this choice from USC on where to play, and the hero bans in particular, pretty monumental.
Yeah, we saw it. We didn't. I bet we did see it a little bit in the last round. I don't think we saw it so much from the Sombra as we did from the Wrecking Ball. Strider is very good on the tank. He's really good on the DPS as well. But Wrecking Ball, you can tell, is his comfort pick. That's what he feels the most comfortable on. And I feel like we saw that swap up hurt Boise State just a little bit, taking away a regular tank. Clear is a great tank, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, it's not what they're used to playing. They're used to playing that really hyper aggressive with several different dive characters. And taking out the Wrecking Ball from that equation, while it might help in the short term, Boise State will still find a way around it.
All right, Boise State just waiting on the final word from USC on where we will be playing this third round push, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe you are correct. It'll be push moving into this, what could be the final round. And on it, we saw Blizzard World pick that doesn't really come out all that often. So
I know the one pick that USC probably should pick if Boise State's history on this particular stage is anything to judge. They have not been able to win on Coliseum.
Yeah, maybe, but maybe they'll do something unpredictable. Maybe they'll pick New Queen Street. Is it that? No, it's Esperanza.
Yeah, it's so unpredicted, neither of us could have seen it.
Nobody plays on Esperanza, but that might work in favor. We saw how competitive Blizzard World was. You never know.
Esperanza, I actually think, is pretty well regarded as a push map.
Yeah.
I've seen it plenty of times.
I guess, yeah, you are right about that one. But honestly, I like New Queen Street. I mean, it's not because it's in Canada, but I like the aesthetic. I like all the snow. It's very pretty, and honestly, it's fun to play Wrecking Ball. Strider's not the only one who likes to play Wrecking Ball here. I like Wrecking Ball just a bit, and it's really fun to just roll around at the speed of sound like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Well, Boise State might have a chance here if that Wrecking Ball isn't banned again, is the main question.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because Esperanza is also a pretty good Wrecking Ball map, all things considered. Tons of ways to flank around, but it looks like the first pick is going to be Brig. Interesting pick out of USC.
So now that means Boise State basically has free reign to use the Wrecking Ball if they want to. They have one choice to take away from USC, and it does seem like, their Ramatra is pretty darn strong.
The Ramatra Karma's Ramatra has proven to be really, really good, and especially because Pummel can hit through multiple targets, and then you slow them with the Ravenous Vortex, and you just line them up like dominoes and punch straight through them, dealing tons of damage. And we saw that so many times in the last map, and I feel like Clear was also able to do that really well. So banning a Ramatra here might do a lot of detriment to USC. But it looks like it's going to be Genji.
Okay.
If we can't play Brig, you're not going to play your dive character.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, but you can work around a Genji ban. You can play Tracer, you can play Sombra, especially because she's not banned. You can play Echo if you're feeling a little bit spunky. Echo's pretty cool. But here we go into what could be the final round. Boise State leading 2-0 going into map 3, push on Esperanza.
All right, Boise State just one final win away from locking up another week of the PEC in the W column. It's all going to come down to Esperanza to see what happens. Boise State now having the opportunity once again to go on to their old favorite, the Wrecking Ball, and they brought the Wrecking Ball out before on this particular stage as well.
Yeah, we tend to see Wrecking Ball quite a bit on this map because you have so many spots where you can just roll around. You got a lot of spots where you can stall the point. And especially with some of the cool Wrecking Ball tech, like being able to hang yourself like a Christmas tree ornament, you can really contest points for quite a while without being contested yourself in the form of a ton of damage being dealt. But with Sombra completely off the table, that is one of Wrecking Ball's biggest counters that is completely up for grabs. And I mean, this is all assuming that Strider even plays tank this round.
As we bask in the warm Portuguese sun, we are just about ready to head off. You see Boise State, I mean, not looking really phased in the slightest. All of them just basically chilling out, ready to do the work that's required and get this final win.
Yep, chilling like the winners they are. This is just another Tuesday for them, but
yep,
I guess that could be said about everybody. But Strider is going to be on
he's out of the gate.
Kick,
look at this.
and he is off like a rocket. He is ready to be playing this character again. One round away was too much. Ace is immediately going to get dove on, but it looks like Lice is going to be playing a little bit of Cassidy moving into this one. They knew that Wrecking Ball was coming out, and they wanted just a little bit of ways to play around him. But Clear is back on the DPS and being a terror on Pharah.
Strider, though, still hanging out in the back line. And
he gets saved!
So close!
They're wise to his tricks. But Ace is also really low. Strider is as well. Suzu tries to go out to save him if it's not enough. That Cassidy hinder, it's just a bit much, but the concussion does come out. Gives D.Va a concussion, but it doesn't stop Karma from going up and finding it on Clear. And it looks like USC is going to take the first lead of this map.
Well, it seems like USC not taking any surprises from Strider, but like you said, there were so many spots you can go on Esperanza that he's got a really deep, he's got a huge playbook to pull from.
Yeah, he's got the map in his hands. Anywhere he wants to go, he pretty much can, with almost no resistance in some places. Like, I'm fairly certain he's in the back line right now. Yes, he is. Moving on to the Cassidy. All of the team is on in that middle portion there. He's going to get a big slam, gets hindered, helps with the Karma. Karma gets hammered. Diamond Dog manages to get the hammer kill.
And
Lyric
finally got it.
Love. And Ace is going to have to back off. Good for Diamond Dog. Didn't find it in the last round. Got pretty close, but all it took was just a little bit of hammer time.
There you go. Boise State now in possession of the robot and in a great place to take the lead again. And here's what you were talking about. He's in the Wrecking Ball, just hanging there like a Christmas ornament, just waiting for a nice ambush. USC coming out of the choke here. Moves on down into the back line, but they're all turned around toward him. The Cassidy survive. No! Clear comes in for support and manages to land the pick.
Strider does end up going down to Karma, but with Clear also helping, well, with Lyric helping and finding Red Bunny, that's two players on USC that you do not want to lose. That's your main source of healing and your anti-dive, and it looks like Karma's going to pay the price. Self-destruct comes out. It's not going to find anything but a Diamond Dog turret. I'm sure she's not very happy about that, looking to get a little bit of revenge, but Clear is still pushing the point. Beat comes out, same with Kitsune Rush, matched by Lyric as well. Strider moving through. Ace finds it. Diamond Dog manages to get a lot of damage, and also the beat comes out as well. Hex finding it on Lice. Love just trying to keep this point for themselves. Recall is forced, and that is a fight win for Boise State. All 4 support ults were used in that fight. That is crazy.
All right, Boise State secures the forward spawns off the checkpoint, and Strider once again going in for an ambush. He's got a minefield to back it up as well. Diamond Dog, first blood for this fight, taken out by Karma, and Lice also picks up one with the Deadeye, but Clear and Strider fighting on back, keeping it competitive.
Yeah, you can take out a lot of players, but when you lose your back line, that's when you lose the team fight. Love manages to get the best of Clear, but Strider still hanging out in the back line. And I don't think that USC is going to be able to take away that forward spot from Boise for this one. But Clear is left on the point. He manages to get Karma away, but the point is still being moved by him.
Right now, the robot has just been taken back and forth by both teams. Strider dives on up to take out Ace. Now has his eyes set on Karma, who's down about half health, runs out of their armor. Lyric gets rid of Red Bunny. Pick back onto Diamond Dog, but Strider's in the back line and gets Lice. Now they turn around to claim the robot, and Boise State gonna widen their lead even more.
Got the aerial pick onto Karma as well. That is unfortunate as a diva. You're looking at one direction, trying to block all the incoming damage, and the real damage is coming from behind you. Clear engaging Love in a 1v1, or I guess it's a 2v1 because Lyric's there too. Strider slamming the back line once again, but with a little bit of help. Clear gets his pulse bomb eaten. Karma manages to get it, but Lyric finds it on Love. The pulse bomb didn't find anything, but the kunai sure did. Diamond Dog looking to set up a turret, but with Molten Core out, USC and the Trojans are bound to back off. Out comes the minefield from Strider, forcing Ace into kind of a weird situation. He can't help his tank, but he can't move forward because of those mines. Clear trying to find a pick here just to even things out. Love does find it on Strider, but Diamond Dog quick to reciprocate. Red Bunny and Lice both going down. Ace soon to follow, and Karma. 3 ults on the board for the Trojans, though. Boise State doesn't have very much to work with, but it looks like Strider's going to be trying out something new. He's going to be playing a bit of Doomfist.
Meanwhile, Lyric and fight to claim this high ground in the library.
And Karma has had enough of these dive characters. Now he's on the Orisa.
But this is a whole bunch of ground claimed by Boise State, and they have this sound barrier to try to push through even more. Diamond Dog's turret eliminated. Strider just tanking some damage from now. Clear very close to the pulse bomb. Boise State uses the sound barrier. Now where's Clear gonna go with this pulse bomb? Lyric only gets Ace. X gets Lice. Might not even need the pulse bomb at this point as the backline from USC collapses. And there goes the pulse bomb onto the tank. I'd say that's a pretty darn good target. And Boise State has claimed Esperanza and the match as a whole.
I'm not sure if that was more of an explosion or an implosion because it started from the middle with the Deadeye, and then as soon as that dropped, everybody else died. What a play out of Boise State, and it looks like Hex is going to find the play of the game. Yeah, you always got to love a Lucio play of the game. They're always entertaining.
Yep, just going on in. I mean, that just as much a Diamond Dog play of the game, to be perfectly honest, as a Lucio one as well, because both teams' tanks dropped during that fight, so it was all up to the DPSs and who could land first. And Diamond Dog coming out of the gate with that double elimination, securing the win in that fight, and ultimately the map.
Yeah, what a competitive match, though, especially in that second round. We saw a ton of life out of the Trojans. They never gave up. In fact, I think they actually got, I honestly noticed them getting better throughout each of the rounds. They were starting to adapt to Boise State's strategy, but you can't really adapt to a strategy super well on the fly, especially when you've never seen it before with the Wrecking Ball.
Well, Boise State gets 1 win for the night, but as I said, we got 2 Overwatch matches to get to. We've got Mountain West coming up after this, so we'll see if Boise can get a victory against Hawaii, the Rainbow Warriors. We'll take a short break and then be back with part 2 of Overwatch tonight. Don't go away and enjoy some highlights from the last game. Minefield as well. We see the Primal Rage, but he's already way off to the side. Diamond Dog lands her shot against Ace. And now Boise State just trying to take down this tank. He bought some time for himself on the Primal Rage.
Trying to hold this point here, but it just looks like Clear is going to hold him to it. The wall goes out. Out comes Karma trying to find a little bit of space on this point, and he goes down. Same with Red Bunny and Lice. And Strider once again believed that I am the better pick, but it does look like Lyric's going to be on the Baptiste instead of the Juno for for this round, changing it up a little bit, moving for a little bit more speed. Symmetra teleports up to the top, forces them off and kills Rice in the process, forces them into an uncomfortable position, heads, and USC is not going to be able to reciprocate. Clear, taking the initiative, pushing forward once again, knowing Love doesn't have anything to count.
Is your IT setup held together by duct tape and hope? Don't worry, Alpine IT Group has your back. We handle on-site support, service desks, cloud management, office phone systems, mobile device management, and more. And the best part, we can fix things remotely, so you can concentrate on your clients. Call Alpine IT Group at 1-888-720-4769 or visit alpineitgroup.com today. Scaling success together and completely duct tape free.
Idaho Central Credit Union, looking after your daily balance. It's the end of a good day's work in Idaho. Time to punch out. Time to check in and catch up. Time to remind ourselves that what we work for isn't a paycheck. It's to make the good things we have even better. So here's to your good day's work. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe money is a thing. It's not everything.
At Blue Ribbon Painting, we're proud to be a locally family-owned and operated business dedicated to bringing your vision to life. Whether it's freshening up your home with interior or exterior painting or tackling a commercial project, we've got you covered. When you choose Blue Ribbon Painting, you're not just hiring painters. You're getting a team that's committed to making your vision a reality. Call or text us at 208-369-2583 or visit us at blueribbonpainting.net. Your project deserves a blue ribbon finish.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena. We're currently at the halfway point for our Overwatch matches tonight. Boise State picked up a win against USC, and joining us here to talk about that win, we have got Diamond Dog with us to talk about some of the highlights that we recently saw against that win versus the Trojans. So, Diamond Dog, it's great to have you up here on stage. I think the one thing I wanted to ask you most about first was that very crucial fight in the home stretch of Esperanza. You kind of had both tanks drop at the same time, which really meant it was all up to like the DPSs like you. So take us through that fight and how you managed to get that double.
Yeah, I was mostly listening to my teammates. Like we did a countdown to go on those last few tanks. 3, 2, 1, push in. Hex speed boosted us. Then we secured those kills, and it was just a sweep after that.
Now, tell us a little bit about what went on in Blizzard World, because it was a win, but USC did put up a bit of a good fight there. So, what was some of the factors that played into them at least putting it toward overtime and almost stopping you before you managed to get to the final spot?
Yeah, well, first off, when we were going into the map, they banned Ball. We were prepared for that. Clear was going to play tank instead over Strider, but we just weren't really prepared for, their Genji. Their Genji was incredibly good, knew how to use their dash very efficiently, and we just weren't really prepared for that, as well as their RAM. Their RAM was super good, knew when to use their abilities. And overall, we just weren't ready for that. We just, and we weren't locked in yet, so we were just like, we gotta secure this fight. No more sillies.
Now, starting out here on Blizzard World and then moving on into Esperanza, you kind of went on a personal mission, a crusade to get a kill with the Torb Hammer. We see it right there on Karma. Finally landed onto the tank as well, taking out the baby diva there. And I just gotta ask, if you're playing against a Torb and the Torb manages to take you out with the hammer, get the hammer elimination, what's left to do? Do you just go home and cry afterwards?
I mean, it's anything as well as a melee. You just got to time right the switch right. It's not really that big of a deal. It's if the enemy doesn't even if the enemy is self-conscious about that, then you kind of broke their ego.
Well, everyone here in the arena certainly enjoyed watching it. So congratulations on your win, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, that'll do it for this first half. But like I said, we got Mountain West Overwatch coming on up, so don't go away. We'll be back with that shortly.
Is your IT setup held together by duct tape and hope? Don't worry, Alpine IT Group has your back. We handle on-site support, service desks, cloud management, office phone systems, mobile device management, and more. And the best part, we can fix things remotely, so you can concentrate on your clients. Call Alpine IT Group at 1-888-720-4769 or visit alpineitgroup.com today. Scaling success together and completely duct tape free.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
At Blue Ribbon Painting, we're proud to be a locally family-owned and operated business dedicated to bringing your vision to life. Whether it's freshening up your home with interior or exterior painting or tackling a commercial project, we've got you covered. When you choose Blue Ribbon Painting, you're not just hiring painters. You're getting a team that's committed to making your vision a reality. Call or text us at 208-369-2583 or visit us at blueribbonpainting.net. Your project deserves a blue ribbon finish.
Idaho Central Credit Union, looking after your daily balance. It's the end of a good day's work in Idaho. Time to punch out. Time to check in and catch up. Time to remind ourselves that what we work for isn't a paycheck. It's to make the good things we have even better. So here's to your good day's work. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe money is a thing. It's not everything.
Welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena. Now it's time for our Mountain West Overwatch matches. Boise State goes up against Hawaii, coming off of a win in the PEC against USC. Will the Broncos continue on their momentum, or will they face a little bit of a roadblock as they face off against the most western team of the Mountain West, Hawaii? My name is Jacob Palmer. I'm joined by Bryce Jensen, calling all the action for you here today. So, Bryce, how are you thinking the Broncos are going to attack this? Are we going to see them still go with this signature dive composition that we've seen them bring out time and time and time again?
You know, I think we are going to see them do the same thing that they've done all the time. And I'm going to come out and say it. I don't even think that a ban on Wrecking Ball is going to be what brings them their doom if Hawaii decides to do that. But if they do if they put the Broncos in a position where they start doing some things that are a little bit more silly, they're not as locked in, that gives the Rainbow Warriors a really good shot at sort of exploiting that weakness a little bit, getting a lot of momentum rolling. So if we can see something like that from the Rainbow Warriors, it might just be what Boise State needs to either snap out of it and start playing, get locked in, as the kids say, or it might even spell their downfall if the Rainbow Warriors do it soon enough.
Well, I think if we just see Doc's keys to the game from Boise State, then we're going to see a quick win from them. Doc's keys to the game, of course, in Overwatch, all centered around not taking a fair fight. That means to take fights in unexpected places when your opponents are unprepared and build up as much tempo as you can. It's all brought to you by Blue Ribbon Painting. And while you're cheering here for Boise State Esports, we want to introduce you to the MVPs of painting, Blue Ribbon Painting. With over 90 years of combined experiences, they're proud to be Boise's go-to team of local, multi-generational painters who know exactly how to level up your home. If you're ready to transform your space, visit blueribbonpainting.net to schedule your free estimate. Now Boise State ready to go into round one. One factor that could play into this, though, is that Mountain West, we're only in a best of three, so if they have a hot control round starting off here, then there's not going to be much chance for the Rainbow Warriors to really take out any sort of counter strategy. Boise State could really end this early.
Yeah, and that could also go both ways, too. The Rainbow Warriors find their footing really early, knock Boise State off their feet, and that could lead to them snowballing a win out of this. But I guess only time will tell as we move into Map 1. Lijiang Tower, Boise State versus the University of Hawaii.
Off we go now. Plenty of I would say highlight moments have transpired here on Lijiang Tower. Of course, we're never going to forget, I think it was the whole team booped on into the water on Gardens. Might not quite see that to start out with, but, you know, if the enemy team is immediately placing that sim teleport right in that window, then that's the green light for Boise State to start going.
Yeah, that's the thing about Lijiang, or specifically Gardens in Lijiang Tower. It is so easy to get your entire team into the fight. Sim Teleporter is honestly one of, I said it before and I'll say it again, it is one of the best movement abilities in this game. It immediately brings you from point A to point B. Sure, Lucio Amp gives you quite a speed boost, but it takes time. You gotta push another button to walk over there.
And I don't want to push more than one button.
But it looks like we're not going to see Gardens first. We are going to see Night Market and Boise State already setting the tempo, but Hawaii is going to match up. They're playing the Wrecking Ball too.
But it's like you said, can you really beat a player as well seasoned on the Wrecking Ball as Strider is the question. Right now we've got Chrissy trying to move on, get his target against Boise State, whereas he's going to get pretty well surrounded by some of Boise State's DPSs already. The first elimination, Taco, was found, and then Lyric gets it onto Chrissy, so no major fruits from that Wrecking Ball for Hawaii.
Yeah, that was not quite what they would have wanted to see. You can't really match the tempo of Strider, the guy who's been playing for probably the longest in this league on Wrecking Ball, especially when Taco goes down to clear really early on in the fight, forcing him to go back. But C gets taken off the map. Not quite what you would have expected.
It's going to drain even more time off from Hawaii as Boise State has pushed them past the choke points back to their own spawn. Strider will move on back for a little bit of reprieve, does not want to overextend. Just waiting for Hawaii's next venture in. And just kind of doing a little bit of a distraction here around Hawaii's spawn.
Oh, but Hex is going to go down to Taco with PTSD. Really putting a hamper on a lot of the utility that Boise can use. Pulse Bomb comes out of clear, doesn't find anything, but Strider still being a nuisance in the backline is going to be enough to at least force Chrissy off the point. Boise State making a few swap ups to Moira instead of the Lucio. And also, I want to point this out. We didn't see him in the last game, but Maxwell is coming out to play in these Mountain West games.
Deadly accurate, especially so on a hero like a Sojourn if he can land those right clicks.
Oh, the anti-grenade
back, and the Biotic Grenade right onto Chrissy. And we'll see that Biotic Grenade quickly be followed up by a Nano Boost from their own team, but Boise State are the ones on point, not Hawaii, so the Nano Boost not really anything to show for it. As here we go, I was talking, Maxwell can land these right clicks. He lands it onto Motion. Strider picks up Toku, and C is next on the list for Maxwell. Great play by Boise State.
It just goes to show how fast Overclock can turn fights, especially in slightly
not like
little
this.
small hallways, but no, Strider, resist the temptation. I know they're all there, but resist it. Don't fall to evil, Strider. The Ana did not deserve this, but the Nano Boosted Tracer is going to do what he could.
Make the decision is clear, and Maxwell are already doing his work. He's just chilling at this point.
Oh no! He lives it! Motion lives to tell the tale. Almost falls off the map though. But Tokuda Wara cannot say the same. Motion does end up taking down Maxwell. Both minefields going out, and Strider with the slightly better minefield is going to prove why he's just the better Wrecking Ball. Oh, he's going to take the Deadeye away, and because he's a Deadeye, he can't go back to the point. Oh, Boise State takes the point. What an unfortunate place to Deadeye.
Yeah, I think you can tell that the Broncos are pretty well relaxed for this fight. Things are getting a bit silly on all sides between all the different roles.
Yeah, here we can see Strider just watching over this like Batman, going completely unnoticed though, is clear with the Nano Boost. Even though he didn't hit anything with the Pulse Bomb, he drew a ton of attention away from the rest of his team. But here we are on Gardens, inarguably the best sub-map, because you can do a lot of silly stuff, and Boise State, known for doing a lot of silly things, they do play Wrecking Ball after all.
They also got the sim ready as well, and they're going to go for the teleport, not into the window, you'll notice, because Boise State sure knows that you can pay dearly for that if the other team knows how to counter. Right now, though, still a great teleport allowing Boise State to gain a bunch of territory. Fight of the Tracers off to the side. That Clear will win decisively. Taco down and out for the count, and Boise State already off to a great start.
Yeah, C trying to get a few picks, or trying to pick somebody off with the Torbjorn. Doesn't quite find anything, but Strider finds motion. Maxwell goes down to Chrissy, but I'd say, to be honest, a little bit more important. Strider almost got stuck, though, and that could have spelled the doom for Hamster.
Now, I was more worried for C there. It looks like C might get booped into the drink from my point of view. Meanwhile, Clear, a nice melee onto Chrissy. Boise State already starting up their count. What a disruptor shot onto both the Torb and his turret.
Yeah, if the Torb goes down, he's going to go down with his turret just like a captain goes down with his ship. But Strider is going to take him off the map, and we swapped away. He does find it, though. Chrissy does get hexed, and Tokudawara finishes off Clear. But Motion almost dead off of the biotic grenade. Maxwell goes down to Taco. And nobody's really been able to reciprocate it, but the point is still ticking up in Boise's favor. But C! No! He did it again! Poor C. Clear is going to find him on Takudawara, but ends up falling off the map. In Motion, also going to go down to Strider. He's not just going after the Torbjorn in this game. Oh no, he's gonna do it again. Don't do it, Strider. Don't, no! C got it! He lived! Just barely, but he lived.
Well, they hit Strider with the sleep dart to stop him. Meanwhile, we've got a capture by Hawaii on the point. But Strider doesn't
no!
He's just going.
Oh, but he got it!
He does get the pick against Choku.
Almost died though off the map, just a little bit farther over, and he gets Motion too.
I gotta ask the observer, why are we leaving Strider's POV? Just keep it on him. I mean, he's the one who's making all these plays.
Yeah, he's doing all the silly.
I just want to see the silly Strider cam for the rest of this.
I hope it's the play of the game where we get to see two different.
Yeah, I hope so.
In very short succession, I might add. But Maxwell gonna give it a little bit of a run for his money. There goes the overclock, taking out Takudawara and C, and it's not gonna quite find Motion, but the no boosted. Wrecking Ball is going to act as a little bit of a barrier of entry for that overclock.
Boise State closing into the home stretch, does not even West Strider with the biotic grenade, still looking for that one pick off the edge, that boop off the edge. Toku will bring out the rally, giving Hawaii a bit more fortitude to fight on the point, but now we're into overtime and it's ticking down. Can anyone from Hawaii touch? Yes, they do in the last moment, but they pay with C and Christie both eliminated. Now it's going to be really hard for Hawaii to keep this match going. They got one contesting on the point, but they are taking out Taco, and Toku are eliminated. Try saying that 3 times fast, and Boise State wins on Li Zhang.
And I believe that C fell to another environmental. I think he died more times to environmental kills from Strider than to anything else in this game. But what good play from Boise State all around, just setting the tempo early. And I think we are going to see the kill on Taku. And poor Motion didn't even know what hit him. Almost catches him too.
Yeah.
With the sleep dart.
Yeah, some of the sleep darts have been really clutch here. The sleep dart also bailed out a few of Boise State's players as well. Both Annas were hitting them pretty consistently, but now we get to what we were talking about, already up against match point. Boise State only needing one more win. But before we get to that all-crucial deciding round, we want to thank local dairy farm families as a proud fueling partner of Boise State esports athletes. Dairy foods provide the protein to rebuild, the hydration to recover, and the natural electrolytes to replenish post-activity. You can fuel your greatness with dairy.
And let me tell you, there's a lot of greatness to be fueled with Boise State, especially in their ability to dive down on a lot of the very important players on the side of the Rainbow Warriors. Every single time that Torbjorn would get out of spawn, Strider would be there. He's like Jason Voorhees. You have no idea how he got there, but he's there, and he's ready to not bring the knife down, but shove you into some corner that you didn't even know existed. And then also, poor motion too. But it does look like Hawaii is going to be choosing Kings Row moving into what could be the final round for
I do like the fast
series.
choice. If you're going to choose Kings Row, just rip off the Band-Aid. Don't let us, try
Don't
to tease
go.
everybody. No,
Don't go.
it's what you expect.
We could pick Kings Row, but I think Blizzard World looking pretty good. But
That's what I don't get. Why some of these teams take so long to choose Kings Row. It's like you knew you were going to choose it off the. Why did you take 3 minutes to deliberate?
yeah. Plus, I mean, most teams have like a game plan going in of like maps that they're really good at. Like, if we lose this, we're gonna go this, and if we're doing something, if we're gonna do this one, we're gonna do something like this. But it looks like Hawaii not trying to match Strider anymore. And Strider kind of rubbing salt in the wound. He's like, you're gonna swap. I'm gonna make sure that you get pummeled for that. He's going to hang himself like a Christmas tree ornament once again. Not quite in a tree this time, but off the side of a chapel. And Chrissy moving on to the
Can't go
win
back. They saw him dancing. They cannot just ignore him.
It's like Jason Voorhees. You never notice until it's too late. But Clear on the Echo, taking a little bit of off angle from Hotel. Not going to quite find Taco. But now that he's in the back line, Taco could cause a bit of havoc if left to his own devices. But it does look like the health pack is going to go to Strider as he makes his getaway.
Strider now making his way. I mean, no one from Hawaii has really been able to touch the point. C does get a pick onto Lyric True, but they haven't made a cohesive effort to actually make their way onto the objective.
You got to whittle down defenses and then go into it. But when you leave C open, it's going to lead to something that's not very nice. Clear finds him, and Strider finds Tokudora. Hex did go down, but Chrissy finds Clear as well. Hawaii.
Oh, no.
Oh, no! Taco. Oh, if it was just a little bit more damage, Taco would have went down there.
Boise
but
State is mean
Lyric-
today. They are
Yeah.
just...
Bunch of bullies. That's what they are. Strider taking a trip around the statue, just kind of letting motion get a little bit of damage off there. And Clear once again taking the Hotel angle, proving to be pretty effective as the Echo. Maxwell on the Ash, just proving why he plays these hit scan characters, able to hit just about everything he throws out. And yeah, Hawaii has not really made any attempt to push forward because they know that Strider is lurking around the corner. But I do think they're going to do a coordinated effort to take out Clear. If they can't take out Boise State, they're going to at least take out the Echo.
All right, we're having some focus on point now as the first tick it's almost claimed by Hawaii. They'll at least get one off of it. But
What was that?
Strider is just focused on picking up the squishies. Instead, he's leaving this tank out on the point. I don't know, things are a little bit goofy right now.
He does find it on motion, so it couldn't have been that. It's not goofy if it works, I guess.
It's the old engineering adage, and this time do you actually want to hear the engineering adage?
Sure, I will.
All right. If it's stupid, but it works, it's not stupid.
That is fair. That is 100. Actually, no, that's not even fair. That's 100% true. It's almost like if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Off we go now. Strider claiming high ground again. It's just a question of who he wants to bully in the backline. He's going to set his sights on the Ana, slam down. Meanwhile, back on point, we've got Boise State bringing out Bob and the Nano Boost. Strider is hit with the biotic grenade, but it's just not enough to stop his constant
Oh, they get him though!
Hawaii. He does still trade 2 for 1, though.
Yeah, I mean, they got Strider. I mean, he's been a terror in the backline, so I'd call that a win. It's not a map win, it's not a tick on the point, but it's the main source of pressure gone. Of course, I say that, and then out comes Clear, forcing Rally. Ana gets duped out of Clear as well. Sleep goes out, doesn't quite find anything, but gets sleeped instead. Deadeye from C comes out, Chrissy with Primal, and it's going to take out Strider as soon as he gets back to point. An extra Ana won't save you if you can't get back to the point.
Yeah, unfortunate duplicate there onto the Ana. Boise State not going to be able to stop Hawaii from taking the payload. But there are 3 minutes left for Hawaii to push it. And we could very well be looking at a stop in streets, as for this particular season, that's where a lot of these games have stopped.
Yeah, especially on that little S-curve before the next point, right by that factory. There's so many ways that you can attack it. It's honestly a wonder how these guys choose which way to go, and also coordinated. Strider taking the high ground, trying to find a way to dive on. He does have mines to work with. Hex, although by himself, out comes the minefield, managed to find Toku, and Motion is trapped between a Strider and a minefield. So he does not have very many options to go through. Hawaii kind of caught between a rock and a hard place here.
Hawaii now not with really many people who can push this payload forward. Boise State taking a good minute off of the initial time they had on claiming the payload. Just doing some long-range damage right now as Strider just continues doing what he's doing. He hasn't been playing by anyone's rules.
Nah, he plays by his own rules, and that's kind of what you got to do as Wrecking Ball. You essentially turn the entire game into a team deathmatch, as I've heard many people so lovingly call it. But it does look like Taco is able to get out with his life after a pretty unfortunate sleep dart, but he is still out and about, roaming in the back line, not having as much success as Strider, but it is definitely something you got to be watching out for. C taken down really low and pushed down to Bob. That's unfortunate for C, but Strider's going to go down to Taco as well. That's 2 characters down, but I mean, Boise State was pretty much already playing without a tank, so is it really that much of a hindrance?
That's the question at the end of the day. Boise State spot Hawaii down to just 1 minute, and hey, if they don't have a tank, they'll just have Clear. He gets the duplicating one at this time. He'll go on to the Winston, now chasing down Taco. I don't think Taco can get away.
Taco's getting hunted down like a summer steam sail out there. Strider getting a good slam, doesn't quite find anybody, but he is going to get the assist on C. The nano boost comes out of Motion, but unfortunately Chrissy dies too quick to use it. Motion is not able to get back the stickies out of nowhere. Unfortunate for Motion.
And we do see one swap by Taco onto the Sombra, but it's probably too little too late for Hawaii as we're down to the final 15 seconds. And Maxwell just,
Maxwell, he
now
was
I know it was too little too
Maxwell,
late.
he was crouch spamming. He wanted to be friends. If Minecraft taught me anything, it's that is a universal piece of communication. Clear does end up with the nano boost. Taco manages to get Rally off, but he is really low. Out comes the Deadeye, but he gets stunned. He gets stunned out of it. Hex does get hacked, taken out by Chrissy, but is that going to be enough to push Boise State off of this point? Bob comes out, Clear trying to find a pick on to see him and Chrissy both low. It's going to be Maxwell who gets the final kill, and out comes Bob picking up the slack. 2 kills, and Clear going to finish it off. Hawaii's offense manages to get past first point.
But I would not be surprised at all if Boise State just takes this in the first fight and then drives the payload all the way there. I mean, there's just such a difference in confidence, really, in how both these teams are playing.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like the Sombra swap came out a little bit too late because Wrecking Ball was in their backline the entire time. And, I mean, Sombra's good to touch, but not really much outside of that.
All right, here we go. Boise State just a hop, skip, and a jump away from a win and getting another victory in the Mountain West. Strider's just going to stay on the Wrecking Ball. What else is new? And we'll see C is now going to try to take... Taco didn't have too much luck for the Sombra, so we're going to see how C does now.
Well, I mean, he did okay for the time he had left. It just needed to come out a little bit earlier. But now, I'm honestly surprised we're not seeing a Sombra Cassidy as a, no, get out of here, Wrecking Ball. We don't want you here combo. But Clear is going to be on the Genji going forward. So it'll be interesting to see how they tackle that as well.
I mean, if you really wanted, you know, you could not just make it a pairing of the Wrecking Ball Get Out of Here, but you could put a Sleep Dart on there, maybe an Orb of Discord even from the Zen. Like, just put every single piece of like backline of dive punishment on your team.
And you try to get the Malga Stomp too. Strider though, quick to get the capture, or quick to try and capture, but manages to get the adaptive shielding before Hack goes through, keeping him alive. C manages to get the translocator out, but he doesn't do very much for his team away from the fight. Almost gets the hack back onto Strider, and that's going to force Boise to not quite back off, but they're going to have to reconsider. Clear on the Genji, looking to pressure that top line. Maxwell, though, in the hotel, pushing the Chrissy Winston out.
Swing up to the second floor for Strider. Chrissy very low and taken out by Maxwell. And with their tank on, I have a feeling that this point is going to be captured in a jiffy. As they're just staggering things out now, taking out Motion, getting a lot of headshots. Clear eliminates C, and this will be the point secured for Boise State most assuredly.
I think the Wrecking Ball, all the rolling around, has made Strider a bit dizzy because he shot at Hex. That's your teammate, man. You don't need to shoot him. What did he do? But out comes Strider. What is Taco doing? Wait, is this attacker's spawn? I think it is. Taco.
I mean, if they want to fight over there, and let's let.
Oh wait, no, it's not. It's not. It looked like it, but. It looked like it was all the way back there at attacker's spawn, and if it was, Taco would have been on a massive side quest that he wouldn't have ended up finishing because he took a Wrecking Ball to the face.
That's just a testament to how Strider's been playing, that you automatically assumed that it was attacker's spawn. Clear gets C with a melee. Maxwell takes out Christie, and just to put more salt in the wound, Clear will bring out his Dragon Blade, get a double, and secure it for Boise State on Kings Row. Another Mountain West victory for Boise State.
And another 2-0, might I add, too. And honestly, a pretty dominant showing out of the Broncos in this matchup. Honestly, the Rainbow Warriors had nothing to stop the Wrecking Ball. That I felt like the Wrecking Ball constantly in the back line was something that they just had no idea how to compete with. And I mean, C on the Cassidy did a little bit. Motion tried to get some stuff done with the On a Sleep Dart, but in the end it resulted in a Boise State 2-0 victory.
Yep, I mean, the coordination just wasn't there to shut down the Wrecking Ball. As you said, you got to find a way to stop him, then have everyone just focus on him to punish that overcommittal. But that just wasn't there, and that allowed Strider to have completely free reign on wherever he was. So that'll do it for our Mountain West match. We want to thank you for joining us for both of our matches here tonight. Congratulations to the Broncos for getting 2 wins in PEC and Mountain West, and we'll leave you with some highlights from the last game that we just saw, and hope that you join us back here tomorrow. Join us back here tomorrow for more esports action in the PEC. We'll leave you with some highlights and then have one final interview with Hex afterwards. Don't go away. Here we go. I was talking. Maxwell can land these right clicks. He lands it onto Motion. Strider picks up Tover. The teleport not into the window, you'll notice, because Boise State sure knows that you can pay dearly for that if the other team knows how to counter. Right now, though, still a great teleport allowing Boise State to gain a bunch of territory. Fight of the Racers off to this. They pay with C and Christie both eliminated. Now it's going to be really hard for Hawaii to keep this match going. They got one contesting on the point, but they are taking out Taco, and Toku are eliminated. Try saying that 3 times fast. And Boise State sights on the Ana slam down. Meanwhile, back on point, we've got Boise State bringing out Bob and the Nano Boost. Strider is hit with the biotic grenade, but it's just not enough to stop his constant.
Oh, they get him though!
Strider, Chrissy very low and taken out by Maxwell. And with their tank on, I have a feeling that this point is going to be captured in a jiffy. They're just staggering things out now, taking out Motion, getting a lot of headshots. Clear eliminates.
Blue Ribbon Painting. We're proud to be a locally family-owned and operated business dedicated to bringing your vision to life. Whether it's freshening up your home with interior or exterior painting or tackling a commercial project, we got you covered. When you
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Idaho Central Credit Union, looking after your daily balance. It's the end.
Welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena. Before we leave for the night, we got one final interview we've got to bring to you with Hex this time from the Boise State Esports Overwatch team, talking about the win that they picked up against the Mountain West. Now, Hex, the first question I want to ask you is, what were your expectations going into the match with Hawaii? I mean, were you just that confident you were just going to completely stomp like that? I mean, was there ever a moment in your mind where you were the least bit concerned about this match, or were you just that good?
For me personally, I didn't have a shadow of a doubt that we would go down. So, you know, I was able to like play some new characters, learn some new, fun abilities.
I want to ask though, since you find yourself in the back line so much as a support, just as a general thing, if you had Strider playing against you as a wrecking ball with as much he likes to go into the back line, what would you personally do to try to keep him at bay?
It would be a challenge. It would be a welcome challenge. So I'd be playing Brig. I'd be whipping him away as much as I can, denying his slams, packing my teammates, making sure they don't go down.
And now everyone is talking about just this new perk system that is coming to Overwatch. We didn't see it here tonight, but just as personally, from your point of view, what's got you most excited? What are you most looking forward to using?
I'm most looking forward to the new Ana perks, even though I don't play Ana, because it would allow me to play Brig more. And I love playing Brig more than anything else.
Well, there you have it. A lot to look forward to. And we will leave you now for tonight. But like I said, we've got much more PEC coming up. We got Valorant, and we have got Super Smash Bros. Still to do this week. So do not leave us, because we have much more this week and weekends usually, as Boise State is fighting in stuff like the CRL. But as for tonight, that will do it for us. So thank you for watching, and we hope to see you next time.